Senior High School on Air.
Senior High School on Air. The frontline of quality and excellent learning.
Excellent learning. You have all the best of the best.
Best of the best of the best.
Magandang umaga, handa na ba kayong matuto?
Naghanda na po.
Reading and writing.
Pagbasa at pagsusuri ng teksto tungo sa pananaliksik.
Practical Research 1.
English for academic and professional purposes.
Ability and Statistics.
General Biology 2.
Disciplines and ideas in applied social sciences.
Cookery and more.
Senior High School Best of the Best.
Best of the best of the best.
Hello, research enthusiasts of Senior High School. This is the first ever episode in Practical Research 1. I know you are excited to enter the world of research. And of course, Radyo Eskwela is here to bring you to that one-of-a-kind experience. I'm your research guide for today, Rizaldi aka John S. Tarayao. Time flees so fast, right? You're done with your first semester journey in senior high school. Now you are joyfully opening the door of the second semester and willingly embracing another academic journey. Am I right, researchers?
Yes na yes.
Well, I have a question. Is this your first time to research? Ooh! Definitely not, because if we are to recall, you have learned the basic in your grade 10 English and grade 11 Komunikasyon at Pananaliksik sa Wikang Filipino. Can you still remember your output when you were in grade 10? Indeed, you have a good memory. When you were in grade 10, you were asked to compose a research report on relevant social issue. What is research report again? Right! A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the processes, data, and findings of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves as a first-hand account of the research process, and it is typically considered as objective and accurate source of information. What about in your grade 11 Komunikasyon at Pananaliksik? Absolutely! You were asked to write an introductory research on cultural and social phenomena in your community. Can you remember some of the research outputs you did? Very good! Now, let's have a short flashback of what you have learned in previous research topics. Bring out your pen and notebooks. I'm going to read the statements twice. So write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. Are you ready? Number 1. Research is something that people undertake to find out things in a systematic way, thereby increasing their knowledge. I repeat, research is something that people undertake to find out things in a systematic way, thereby increasing their knowledge. Number 2, research is just collecting facts or information with no clear purpose. Again, research is just collecting facts or information with no clear purpose. Number 3, research is a multi-stage process that will involve both reflecting and revising stages already undertaken and forward planning. I repeat, research is a multi-stage process that will involve both reflecting and revising stages already undertaken and forward planning. Number 4, good researchers should aim for a perfect research with no limitations or restrictions. I repeat, good researchers should aim for a perfect research with no limitations or restrictions. Number 5, the researcher's own personal interests and observations may be a valuable source of questions. Again, the researcher's own personal interests and observations may be a valuable source of questions. Alright, everyone is done. So let's check your answer. Check your prop paper honestly. Number 1, the correct answer is true. Number 2, the correct answer is false. Number 3 is true. Number 4, the correct answer is false. And number 5, the correct answer is true. If you pass, that's the first-rate work. You're ready to do research. If you didn't pass, keep smiling. This is just a beginning. This time, you are very much ready to turn the first page of learning in research. Buckle up and relax because today, you are expected to share research experiences and knowledge, explain the importance of research in your daily life, and describe characteristics, processes, and ethics of research. Are you ready to rock the world of research?
All right.
So, prepare your pen, notes, and learning references for we'll surely hit the best when we return after a short break.
Taho kayo dyan. Di makatulog sa gabi sa kaiisip, damdamin ko'y mayroong lungkot hanggang sa panaginip. Oh, Berto, di ka ba nakatulog kagabi? Hindi nga ho, Kuya Pekto. Dala ho siguro ng lungkot ng pag-iisa dito sa bahay. Di ho kasi makalabas dahil sa COVID-19. Hay. Berto, may 3 bagay na dapat kang tandaan para maiwasan ng lungkot sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. Una, alamin ang dahilan ng iyong kalungkutan. Pangalawa, maaaring ipabatid ang iyong nararanasan sa mga taong malalapit sa iyo. Nariyan ang internet para makausap mo sila. At ang pangatlo, ilaan mo ang iyong oras sa mga bagay na ikaw ay magiging abala. Hindi lang pisikal na kalusugan ang mahalaga, Perto, pati pang kaisipan rin. Tatandaan ko yan, Kuya Pekto. Maraming salamat sa payo. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
Bob here at Senior High School, best of the best of Radyo Eskwela, si Isabela. Of course, this is your research guide, Rizaldi aka John S. Tarayao. Again, magnificent day everyone. They say, when you create new knowledge, you create research. So what is research? Can you share what you know about it? Have you done research before? Nice one. Research is what you do when you want to find out something. Books and internet sites generally define it in 3 ways. Number 1, it is the utilization of various methods and strategies to gather truthful and accurate information about problems and issues. Number 2, it is carrying out scientific method or analysis. It entails the application of formal, systematic, and intensive processes to yield significant information or data about research questions and or objectives. Number 3, it is systematic and objective analysis or scientifically recorded data which may lead to the development of generalizations, principles, models, theories, and predictions of events. Did you note this down? That's perfect. So to further understand what research is, let's discuss its importance in our daily life. Number 1, it is a tool for building knowledge. Research is required not just for students and academics, but for all professionals. Say among professionals and scribes finding an interesting topic to discuss and or to write about should go beyond personal experience. Determining either what the public may want to know about or what researchers want them to realize can serve as a reasons to do research. Undoubtedly, it is crucial to study and finding possible cures for diseases, as well as how to prevent them. Thus, research become a must to ascertain if one's ideas are supported by previous studies or if these ideas still need proof to be considered as knowledge. Next is, research is meant to understand various issues. Just like television shows and movies with research both on the part of writers and actors. Though there are hosts who are on their researchers, there are also those who exert effort to do their own research. As what Terry Freeman says, research can shed lights on issues we didn't even know existed and can raise questions we had not realized even needed asking. Thus, almost all writers of imaginary and non-fictive tales and also do research because doing so helps them create a good story and or achieving strong credibility as an academic. Research is a way of proving lies and support truth. In an instance, scientists deal with research to test the validity and reliability of their claims or those of other scientists. Their integrity and competence depend on the quality and not just quantity of their research. Nonetheless, not everything scientists come out with get accepted or learned by everyone, especially when factors like religion, state suppressions, and access to resources and social services, example, education and adequate health programs, either feed the poor majority with their lies or deter them from knowing truths to preserve the status quo. Another is, research is a seed to love reading, writing, analyzing, and sharing valuable information. With the wide arrays of ideas available, scholars and non-scholars involved in research are able to share information with large audience. Some views this process as ego-boosting, while others see it to stimulate interest and encourage further studies about certain issues or situations. As literacy is integral in improving a person's social and economic mobility and increasing awareness, research then hones necessary basic life skills and makes learning a lifelong endeavor. Lastly, research is a nourishment and exercise for the mind. Curiosity may kill not just the cat, but the human as well. Yet, it is the same curiosity that fuels the mind to seek for answer. The college admission partners notes how scientific research in particular helps students develop critical reasoning skills, helpful for any field of higher education. Such research or thinking process is food for the brain, allowing creativity and logic to remain active. It also helps prevent mental illness like Alzheimer's. Indeed, research and doing research encourage people to explore possibilities, to understand existing issues, and to disclose truths and fabricated ones. Without research, technological advancement and other developments could have remained a fantasy. Reading, writing, observing, and analyzing, and interacting with others facilitate an inquisitive mind's quest for knowledge. Research serves as an instrument to achieve that goal. Did you write all importance of research in your daily life? Now, how do we characterize research? Correct. We can characterize it through the acronym CO, ARTS. What does it mean? C means clarity. It must succeed in expressing its central point of discoveries by using simple, direct, concise, and correct language. O stands for objectivity. It must deal with facts, not with mere opinions arising from assumptions, generalizations, predictions, or conclusions. A for accuracy. It must give correct or accurate data, which the footnotes, notes, and bibliographical entry should honestly and appropriately documented and acknowledged. R means relevant. This means the topic must be instrumental in improving society or in solving problems affecting the lives of people in a community. T, timeliness. This signifies that research must work on a topic that is fresh, new, and interesting to the present society. And the last is S, systematic. It means it must take place in an organized and orderly manner. This is because research follows scientific method. It is step-by-step process which basically start from identifying the area of the study, choosing the topic, formulating a research plan, collecting, and then analyzing the data, and then finally writing up the study. Did you understand everything? Oh yeah! At this point, let's have overview of the research process. First is selecting the research area which is genuinely interesting to you. Say in your track or strand, what issues do you have? Are they researchable? What do you find interesting? Next is formulating the research aim, objective, and the research questions. Once you have identified the issue that concern or interest you most, what made you choose it? What questions do you want to be answered? Then conduct literature review. Literature review is usually the longest stage in the research process. The literature review starts even before the formulation of research aims and objective, because you have to check if exactly the same research problem has been addressed before. After which, select methods of data collection. Data collection methods need to be selected on the basis of critically analyzing advantages and disadvantages associated with several alternative data collection methods. In studies involving primary data collection, in-depth discussions of advantages and disadvantages of selected primary data collection methods need to be included in methodology. Comes next, collect the primary data. Primary data collection needs to be preceded by a great level of preparation, and pilot data collection may be required in case of questionnaires. Following such is data analysis, which plays an important role in the achievement of research aim and objectives. Data analysis methods vary between secondary and primary studies, as well as between qualitative and quantitative studies. Afterwards are conclusions which relate to the level of achievement of research aims and objectives. In this final part of your paper, you will have to justify why you think that the research aims and objectives has been achieved. Conclusions also need to cover research limitations and suggestions for future research. Lastly, complete the research where filed separate chapters are one ready for submission. Very good! This time, how can we make sure that ethicality of our research? As we all know, research ethics provides guidelines for responsible conduct of research. In addition, it educates and monitors scientists conducting research to ensure a high ethical standard. These are some of the ethical principles that we should know. Number 1, honesty. Honestly report data, results, methods and procedures, and publication status. Do not fabricate or falsify or misrepresented data. Number 2, objectivity. Strive to avoid bias in experimental design, data analysis, data interpretation, peer review, personnel decisions, grant writing, expert testimony, and other aspects of research. Number 3, carefulness. Avoid careless errors, negligence. Carefully and critically examining your own work and the work of your peers. Keep good records of research activities. Number 4, respect for intellectual property. Honor patents, copyrights, and other forms of intellectual property. Do not use unpublished data, methods, or results without permission. Give credit where credit is due. Never plagiarize. Number 5, confidentiality. This refers to a condition in which the researcher knows the identity of a research subject but takes steps to protect the identity from being discovered by others. Because most human subjects, research requires signed documentation of consent. Subject anonymity is not as common in human subjects research. But there are still a lot more to consider when speaking of ethicality, but enumerated a while ago are the major ones. Were you able to take note of everything? Okay, I know you are ready to take the quiz, but before that, let's have a short recap. So, what did you learn today? Correct. You were able to share your research experience and knowledge in your previous classes. Explain the importance of research in daily life and describe characteristics, processes, and ethics of research. Can you give one importance of research in your daily life? Correct. Research is nourishment and exercise for the mind. What about at least one characteristic of research? Definitely, research must be relevant, which means the topic must be instrumental in improving society or in solving problems affecting the lives of people in a community. What about research processes? Can you give them? Excellent! These are selecting the research area, formulating research aim, objectives, research questions, conducting the literature review, selecting methods of data collection, collecting primary data, analyzing data, reaching conclusions, and completing the research. Alright, you paid attention well. And the last question, can you give at least one feature of research ethics? Precisely, respect for intellectual property, which means honor patents, copyrights, and other forms of intellectual property. Do not use unpublished data, methods, or results without permission. Give credit where credit is due. Never plagiarize. You did listen very well? What about research processes? Can you mention them? Cool! You're now ready to take the quiz, but of course, with all the information you have today, you deserve a short break. So let's listen first to this commercial.
Naku, ang lakas na ng hangin. Paparating na ata talaga ang bagyo. Mabuti na lang, nakita ko ang listahan ng mga dapat ihanda kanina sa Facebook ng DepEd. Ito ay ang tubig, pagkain, ID card, mahalagang dokumento, flashlight at baterya, posporo at lighter, first aid kit, kutsilyo, radyo, kumot, banig, lubid, gamit panligo, at ilang mga damit. Tawagin man kami para sa agarang paglikas, handang-handa kami.
Maging handa sa anumang sakuna. Isang paalala mula sa kagawaran ng edukasyon at ng himpilang ito.
Alright, back to senior high school best of the best. Of course, only here at Radyo Eskwela si Isabela with your radio teacher Radyo Eskwela. You can now bring out your assessment notebook for your short quiz in Practical Research 1. For the directions, you need to identify what's being described in the following statements. Where the letters of your choices in your answer sheet. Are you ready? Oh yeah! Number 1. Which characteristics in which the data are currently enough to be important to researchers and readers? A. Completeness. B. Data quality. C. Relevance. And D. Timely. Number 2. How important are ethical issues to your researchers? A. They are of a little importance to the topic I plan to study. B. They are somewhat important and can be considered at the final stages of the project. C. They are important to any project but are not something I need to consider until I have finished collecting my data. And D. They are very important at any stages of the research process. They have implication for what and who can be researched and for how research can be conducted. Number 3. When is a topic researchable? A. This is critical. B. This is inferential. C. This is supported by evidence. And D. This derives you to be creative. Number 4. What part of research that does an intensive reading about the topic? A. Background of the problem. Research. B. Research question. C. Research methodology. D. Review of related literature. Next. This means asking permission before using unpublished data or results. A. Honesty. B. Confidentiality. C. Respecting for intellectual property rights. And D. Objectivity. I repeat. This means asking permission before using unpublished data or results. A. Honesty. B. Confidentiality. C. Respecting for intellectual property rights. And D. Objectivity. Time is up. I know you answer well our quiz today. We'll check your answer in our next episode, so don't miss more research adventure next time. Alright, my congratulations for a job well done today. On behalf of our scriptwriters, Teacher Joy S. Ferrer, and the SDO Isabela RBI production team of Senior High School, Best of the Best. This has been Rizaldi aka John S. Torayao, your radio teacher, leaving you the words, all is well when you study well. Stay tuned and thank you so much for all of you.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela!